Welcome to episode 6 of On the King's Dime. It is Sunday afternoon, 21st to the 10th. We have just played the New Zealand Breakers today, and it was a win for the Kings, the first win for the Kings of the season. And I have Andy here with me to go through it.
Good day, all.
First things first, if you're listening to this, like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, and you can also add us to iTunes and Podcast Addict. We did share it in the Facebook page, so shout out to everyone who did listen to it. It's good to hear you listening. Thanks for any of the feedback and stuff like that. So like and share and subscribe, and we'll keep making more content for you guys as soon as there are games and game weeks. And today was a double game week.
Yes.
It was the Adelaide 36ers in Adelaide, an away trip, and then a big trip to New Zealand, like a
big backup.
Yeah, crazy
big time
long,
zone difference.
Crazy long trip.
That's
over
our
to New
first
Zealand.
win, which is fantastic for the guys. Much needed, I think, after back-to-back losses in Adelaide. And it was a pretty emphatic victory as well.
Yeah.
I think the whole team played pretty well.
Yeah.
We're starting to knock down some shots. Pinot actually defending and giving a bit more hustle on the offensive and defensive glass. But we'll kick off with the first game, which is the Adelaide 36ers. And, man, they were fucking jammy on Friday night. They were so fluky. The shots were just falling. I mean, Sydney played really well.
I think they played a lot better than the first game.
Yeah.
First game, they felt like were a bit nervous or a little bit sort of raw out of the gate. Not sure what to expect. Bogut, a little bit of dodgy foul trouble in game one. But in that second game, I thought we brought we upped the defense in the first quarter.
Yeah.
We played quite well defensively. I think we kept pace really well with Adelaide in the second game. They were hitting some tough shots, a couple of turnaround fading jumpers. Like Sobey hit a couple of just ridiculous shots.
Yeah, Sobey had such a good game.
And obviously, I think that's the danger of this guard lineup that we have in Randall and Adnam. I think they're both quite small, and even Lish, they're quite undersized. And after the first game, I think it was obvious that Adelaide came out and they started with a much larger lineup.
Yeah.
They played Drimich and Moore as well as Wiley. They started with Wiley. So it was basically an all-forward lineup. Trying to play against us, us trying to play against Adelaide with our guards. Randall and Adnam and Leash on the perimeter, they're going to struggle to guard forwards.
They're not going to be able to. Forwards that knock down shots. Randall's pretty much obsolete against anyone over 6'2". In any kind of sense. And you're looking at just Bogut being the rim protector that he is in order to kind of switch on so you can't score from the paint as easily. But, I mean, if you're guarding on the perimeter, he's pretty much not effective, although he's a fantastic ball handler and scorer. And, Adelaide was on fire tonight. Taze, who, fitter internal by daylight and 4 from 4 by candlelight, just guys hitting shots out of nowhere. DeLeon was 6 from 7. Couldn't hit a field shot, but was shooting 85% beyond the arc, which is feral. And Johnson hitting the 3-point well. Sobey had a cracking game, and Drimich as well, very good defensively.
Yeah,
they hustled more. I think they were definitely more hustling on the offensive boards.
Just in general, they were faster to the ball a little bit. I think. In Adelaide, they got a pretty good crowd, pretty good arena. It's loud. It was rocking. You could feel we were getting out hustled a little bit in general, getting to the ball a bit slower.
Pennell was very slow that game. I don't think he played well at all, and he was kind of hindering, that downtime for Bogut. You can't rely on Bogut to play 40 minutes. You need to get a good 7-8 minutes out of Pennell.
And he was in foul trouble too pretty early.
Yeah, Bogut was in foul trouble. And that's, maybe Dengakuth is more of that kind of rim protector because Pinot's not as quick as Dengakuth and it isn't really the rim protector he is as well, but maybe can play, come out to the line more to defend. He has no offense. That's one thing. He has no ball handling. So he's really got to, get up on the hustle, get the offensive boards and, muscle his way out. He's a big dude. He just didn't do that. And I think DJ was all over him most of the evening. And it really showed in the stats line. I mean, he was 20 points, shooting 50% from the field, 44% beyond the arc, 9 rebounds, 4 offensive boards. I mean, that's saying something. Even though we scored 100 plus points, Adelaide were just hitting their shots on song and I think, hustling a bit more for the ball, which led to us unfortunately going down by 5 points.
Yeah, I think if you look at the way our lineup is set up, we've obviously got some smaller guys that have to stay out there on the perimeter. Like they're not sort of multi-position players. I mean, you look at Bowen's probably the only guy who can probably defend on the perimeter as well as probably playing down inside.
Down low,
and maybe Newley, maybe.
Yeah.
I think Newley's got the veteran savvy, but he still gets blown by a little bit. If you look at the Adelaide lineup, they started 3 forwards, or all listed as forwards, Wiley, Moore, and Drimich, and then Sobey as the guard. Sobey was just handling the ball and driving, and there was people pretty much everywhere because we didn't have the guards to defend these guys inside.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dump offs at the rim, a lot of just drive and kick, and it's kind of an Achilles heel for our team. Like we want to play nicely spaced. Everyone sort of defend 3 defend on the perimeter or 2 defend on the perimeter, 3 guys inside, Bogut blocking shots. But I think these teams are going to come at us. I
think we're missing Wilson still as that second guard because you really can't have Adnan, you can't have Adnan and Randall on the field at the same time from a defensive aspect. Yeah. If you're 20 points up, then they're going to put some, if the other team's cold. But if the other team's hot, you've got 2 guys that are really, really undersized. And if you've got a slightly bigger lineup and knocking down threes, you're just going to continue to do that all night, which Adelaide did, even though we did score well and we were pretty good on the offense. And that's the problem. We really do have some undersized guards. And with the injury to Wilson, I think that Bowen can come in at the 2, potentially, if that isn't with the backup unit. I think Bowen's very underutilized. He's really starting to show some good form, getting to good positions, knocking down shots, knowing what to do, defending the rim. And I think he was very much underutilized that game. Pinot was just non-existent in the center position. Kickett is good, but is slow.
Yeah, he's kind of a bit of a sort of really focused type player. Like you need him running that pick and pop on the 3 point. Pick and pop.
He can back down a bit and hook over guys because he's got a bit of size on him.
And then David Ware. I mean, David Ware did not have a very good game against Adelaide.
He was not good defensively and not good offensively, but turned that around against the Breakers today, definitely. So Lish had 15 points, shot well. It's good to see him back in the shooting realms after a long time out. 9 assists as well, so it was Dish City for him. Newley, first time in his career scoring above 20.
Yeah, he played really well.
He did. He played extremely well.
Solid veteran.
These guys have the amazing free throw ability. You watch the NBA and they're hitting 50%. Yeah. And even the forwards here can hit 185%. It's just something that the guys in the NBL do pretty well. Randall played well, but got a little bit dished off on the defense. But again, Yoey's going to get productive minutes out of him.
Yeah.
Bogut got into foul trouble early, but scored quite well. Rebounded well, as he always does.
Yeah, I'm really surprised how good his offense is. I mean, it wasn't a staple when he was playing in the NBA at all. You wouldn't have expected him to try and back people down. But in this, he feels so savvy. I've never seen him take such savvy shots. He'll get a board and he'll just pop one back up. I think it's a bit underrated how his offense is kind of fitting into our team.
That's that behind the back.
Today, that was fantastic.
That was amazing.
It was
so good to watch for a 7-footer to do that, and just everyone's just what the fuck did we just watch?
But I'm happy that he wants to do that too. I mean, it'll be important in this league. Obviously, in the NBA, it's not going to be that important. You're going to get 4 other guys that are going to take a lot of shots in the NBA. But in the NBL, I mean, I said if he took 5 shots a game, that'd be fine. But as long as he's aggressive, I'm fine with him taking those little lefty hooks.
Took 10 shots and knocked down 8. That's such productive work for a center.
A couple of drives, a couple of good putbacks, and if he's chipping in with 10 points a night, he's good for a double-double, which is fantastic for fantasy as well. He's killing it.
He's killing it, and he's just block city. He's definitely going to win Defensive Player of the Year. There's no doubt about that.
Reckon? So he had 3 blocks in this game.
3 blocks, and he had 2 or 3 blocks first night.
11 boards.
Yeah, just crazy. Adnan was productive, but I think, he was undersized and Adelaide kind of abused him a bit there.
Yeah.
Bowen, again, really, really starting to show. Preseason, he didn't show a lot of why he's got so much hype in America, but I think he's starting to show why he's hyped. Just getting to positions early, knocking down shots, defensively playing very, very well.
It was 3 of 4, and then
2 or 3.
1 of 1 from 3.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit underutilized. I find if you look at Bowen, if you look at these 2 teams we played, basically the 2 NBL teams, Melbourne and Adelaide, you'd think they were the 2 best teams so far that we played.
Yep.
And the 2 times he's played, all the 4 times, like 2 lots of 2, he's actually really played quite well because he's in a rhythm against the better teams, and there's something to play for in these, which I think as he grows, there's going to be a spot for him in this rotation to take people's minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think he doesn't really look like he has the personality to come out there and want to just get people out, like, get out of my way, I'm taking the ball and I'm going to score, which is fine. But I think that's going to grow in him this season because he kind of saw that against the Breakers with the way he played. Like, he was doing everything basically.
Pretty much.
And it was growing, like, it was making his confidence grow in this team. And especially, like, to be utilized on the court, I think it's going to be really important if he, like, really puts in. And he's got the talent, he's got the ability. So it was good to see. Played quite well in that. Deng Deng got a few minutes. That was pretty good. And then Kick it 22 minutes, 15 points, 5 of 10. He played well.
He plays solid. He shoots well, backs down well. A little bit heavy on the turnovers, it seems. 3.
Yeah.
He's not very good at passing options.
Lobs, man.
Yeah, passing options are not his specialty. You should really just stick to, all right, if you're going to play an ISO and back down, do that. You're going to hit the 3, do that. But yeah, passing is not his speciality.
But that knocking down those threes, man, that's where he's really important.
That's his bread and butter.
Floor.
Yeah.
Every time he gets up on that 3-point line,
you're expecting him to hit
you just think he's going to knock it down every time, which that's going to be really important to space the floor as well during the season. And it's going to be really important that people kind of respect him at the 3-point line. And he showed today against the Breakers that he could play inside, which was also good. But I still think, like, Adelaide had that first game. They looked at us, they went away and said, okay, like, what we're going to do is just going to play 5 forwards, basically.
Yep.
And that really took us out of rhythm straight away. Like, it really got to us early. I mean, we came back in the third quarter. I think we had the lead for a little bit in the third.
We did, yeah. But Adelaide came back with some ridiculous shooting by Taze.
It was just such a back and forth game, and they seemed to get these either open shots or just crazy, like, dribble drive, spinning, fading, leading, knocking it down, like crazy, some crazy shots.
When your night's on, your night's on, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what you're going to do. If everyone's on everyone's on song, crowd's backing you, you know, everyone's getting, Deleon was, you know, fist pumping and strutting and the crowd's going wild. Yeah, it's going to rev everyone up.
The and one was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid.
And the refs.
This was the game. This was the game. I have to say, some of the reffing has been just fucking woeful.
Yeah, pretty terrible.
Like this was the game where I think they got to 6 fouls for the quarter and didn't call.
One of them was off a missed free throw where Sobey, like, he backed into Bogut and threw himself on the ground. Yeah. And the refs respected that, and I just went, "What? What are you doing?" Like,
he was never getting that board. Like, that's Bogut's board all day of the week, and they're going to call it.
And he just, like, threw himself on the ground. It was there was a bit of flopping too.
It was a bit flop city. I think the refs pay into it, which is a bit shit. But again, it seems like the NBA is going that way as well sometimes. Yeah, but some poor reffing.
I felt it was still a good performance by Sydney. Like,
yeah.
I didn't feel like I wasn't as annoyed after the first game. I felt annoyed because I felt we didn't really play that well.
Well, the offense didn't click. I think this is the offense clicked this game. Like, we were scoring well, diming well. Lish was playing well, which is always nice. Randall's always awesome in isolation and shoots well. But Bogut, everyone had a good game except Ware, and I think that was the weakest link. And we needed productive minutes, which we kind of got out of Kick It, and we should have got a bit more out of Bowen. But you know, on the field, Ware was -14. Pinot was -7 and Adnan was -8. So we really struggled in those backup minutes against a really dominant Adelaide side in that respect that got good, solid minutes out of all their plays and productive minutes. So from there...
so anything else we need to
Not really that. That's pretty much a wrap up of that game.
Mm.
We do seem to score more points on the fast break, faster guards, obviously being smaller guards. Adnam's pretty good for that, same as Leash.
And Randall's so dangerous in
Oh man,
transition.
his
He's like
ball
lightning.
handling is like CP3 status. It's next level ball handling. He's so good. Just banking shots against big dudes.
Yeah.
Like 6'10", and he somehow gets it off the glass and it goes in.
Yeah, some
Just crazy
circus shots today, like where he's just twisting and then just flicking the ball up, and you can't even see him.
Yeah.
Like you just see this ball pop up and pop in. You're just like, how did he even hit that? Where did that come from? Crazy stuff. So I think, it was a disappointing loss, but I still think we played well enough to go, there's something here. Like, I mean, we scored 100 points today in that game and then 100 points again today. I think we're pretty comfortable to put up 100 points a game.
Yes.
Like, I'm not sure how well that goes in the NBL in general. Like, I don't think know if 100 points.
You pretty much got to have an on night for the NBL in general to be able to do that week in, week out.
But I feel like our offense, when it clicks, it's got enough wrinkles. It's got Bogut. Production's pretty good. We've got Randall who can score in isolation. Bowen who can get us a bucket if we need to. Leish's shootings come on just a little bit more. And then we've got Adnam off the bench who can make plays. It really is just, after that performance from Ware, it's just everyone's sort of getting on his case a little bit, wondering why we had him. And
but he definitely turned that around against the Breakers today.
So we'll move on to the Breakers today.
Good win. First win of the season. Really great to see that the team kind of clicked as a whole. There was productive minutes from everyone. Everyone played pretty well. Even Pinot, 4 defensive rebounds, 1 offensive board. I think he hustled a lot. 2 blocks. That's good for a center who can't score.
Yeah.
Scored 2 points. Not really an offensive option, but came in solidly and defended extremely well. We just got productive bench minutes, and you could see what you get out of a productive bench minutes in terms of defense. I think that they went away and worked on their defense really well. I think that the Breakers had a bit of a bad night in terms of shooting as well. I think they had a bit of a Houston night. We're just lobbing up shots by the end of it, hoping for a bit of a roll on. But Kevin Lish top scoring. He shot extremely well.
Yeah.
But for my mind, Bogut had the kind of standout night again. Just some of the dishes that he had, some of the plays he made, 4 blocks.
Yeah, man. And a couple of them were just beautiful, like rip downs as well, which were fantastic to see. I think he's against the lesser teams. Like, I don't think this Breakers team is like, they didn't feel like they were on the level.
They don't feel like they're on the level, but a lot of people have said that they're going to be up there come the season end. But Perth could be Bryce Cotton is looking pretty dangerous. Perth could be up there, but it's always early in the season. You get one injury to an import, and shit can fall apart, and that may be what happens.
Yeah.
But the Breakers looking a little bit shaky to start off with. They kept up with for about a half, and then Sydney kind of blew them away last 2 quarters.
Yeah.
Randall 15 points, 4 assists. Turned the ball over a little bit too much this game, 5 turnovers. Not his best game, but again, got to the basket when he needed to, shot the ball from the free throw line very well. 90% from the free throw, like making the most of everything. Bowen shot 100% from 6.
Yeah.
He got more minutes that game. I think guys, listened to us and said, right, these guys know what the fuck they're talking about. And he got much more productive minutes. It was a good yam towards the end as well.
That was massive. He
massive throwdown.
Right in.
I thought he was going to get a call for a tee for that one because he stood down.
That was all right. Whose face was he in? Was it? I think it was Richard. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Richard.
Dunked over Richard. That was a great jam. But I think as he rolls too, he gets more confident. He gets, if he's putting up, if he's getting buckets, he's going to get more time on the court. Like I felt like in this game today, we got out to a nice lead, and that allowed us to, we're going to rest Randall, give him about 7 minutes off.
Yeah.
We're up. It's okay. We don't need to rely on him a little bit more. Newley kind of didn't really play that much.
Newley didn't play too well, but, did what he needed to do. And funnily enough, this would have been the first game that he'd never scored in his entire NBL, but he hit that corner 3 towards the end to break that.
Yeah.
But Adnan played so well, man. That kid can shoot.
Yeah, definitely. That like 28 footer he hit in the end, man. That was massive. That was fantastic. He was plus 24. He helps immensely off the bench because he plays
So
at the
quick.
same speed as Randall.
Yeah,
Probably doesn't have the handles like Randall does, but he has the same attacking mentality.
yeah,
And he can pass the ball as well. And I felt like our sets were running a lot more cleaner today. Maybe because there was less of that forward lineup that we played against Adelaide.
yeah.
There was more, like Ely's kind of the same size of our guards, and he played a lot of minutes. And then we kind of abused Abercrombie and Long a little bit. Like we were able to bring them out with Bogut and kind of abuse them a little bit defensively. Especially Kickett going inside. He had a couple of buckets where he went inside and baby hook over the top of the forwards, which we didn't really see in those Adelaide games. And David Ware obviously playing a lot better, 3 from 4 from 3. I thought he played really well. And he's so dangerous. Like if you can get him the ball on the baseline for that, 12-foot jumper, he's going to hit that. And if you can get him isolated, usually he can like post fade as well. But
he's got that in his arsenal.
They're still low percentage. It's still low percentage stuff. Like you want to see guys getting to the rim, like Bogut, like handling out at the elbow, and then playing like a couple of times. He played guys through for wide open layups, like Lish very early on. But then you obviously see a couple of turnovers as well. So it's high risk, high reward stuff.
It's the same kind of basketball that Philly plays, like high passing, a lot of handoffs, a lot of trying to exploit the defense, high tempo, get
side
them tied, side to side type of stuff. But the shots were getting knocked down. We were 50%, 55% from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
I mean that's a good day out when you're hitting 55 and 90% from the free throw.
Yeah, so 60% from the field, 63% from 2, 55% from 3, and 90% from the line.
You're going to win most nights.
I think that's the best
that.
they've had.
Yeah.
Ever. I think the Kings, or it was one of the highest percentages we've ever shot. But it didn't really feel like that, did it?
No.
I felt like we played very well, not brilliant, but at the same time, we just got the job done. We were rolling. Everyone felt really comfortable taking their shots, getting to the rim. Randall obviously hitting a few circus layups, and then Bogut, a couple of tip-ins and some nice little lefty hooks. And that, like, he drove down the lane once, got an and one, and then that crazy behind the back.
Yeah.
Like inside, outside, behind the back, like little switch hand layup.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Switch hand, Euro step.
Yeah.
Off and in. Yeah, and a couple of good alley-oops between Randall and Bogut. It's good to see them working
and
too.
Finally got it to work.
Yeah.
That's so dangerous. So there's nothing you can do. The vertical spacing, if Bogut gets a clear run to the rim and he can get it over the top of the defense.
Yeah,
it's unguardable basically. Yeah. So they ran that a couple of times. We tried to run that against Adelaide, kick it, and it was horrible with kick it with the ball.
Kickett's not really going to be able to get there too effectively.
But I'm pretty sure Randall was, or maybe Adnam had one of them and Randall had the other. And they're obviously the guys that you want lobbing the ball over for Bogut to score. But I thought, we played a lot better, even though maybe the Breakers were a little bit less of an opponent. I still felt we played fantastic.
Yeah, played a lot much better.
It was great to watch as well.
It was indeed. So, game wrap. So, next game, obviously, we are playing the Taipans, having won their first game and currently locked in battle with the Hawks.
Yeah. I think it's halftime. It's 48-47 against the Hawks at the moment. They're up 1 against the Hawks.
So, close game against the Hawks. Hawks have had a pretty rubbish start to the season.
Yeah.
I am liking Sydney very much for this game. This will be at home. It's going to be televised on Go as well for those people that do not subscribe to Foxtel. So that's nice for everyone in Sydney who wants to watch it.
Or you could go out to the game.
Or you could go out to the game. Bit of a shit to get to on Park, but that's okay. Hopefully there's nothing else on there. Yeah, but that's at 2:50 next Sunday.
Fantastic. I'm in. That's my time to shine. 2:50 in an afternoon.
I might actually be able to head out if I'm lucky as well, dealing with a newborn. But
fun times.
Fun times. So I'm hoping that everyone is able to get out there if they can. I'm going to try and get out there. Ben will definitely be there.
Yeah.
If not, but you can watch it live on Go. And if you can't, then you could subscribe to NBL TV and pay $5 a month like a fool. Or you can go NBL Reddit streams and watch that game for free.
NBL Reddit streams?
Yes, it's a thing.
Sweet.
That's how I've been watching.
Nice.
Whoop, whoop.
Fuck, I was going to say, you on the payroll of the NBL, mate.
No,
You're
mate.
giving
I
them
was
shout
giving
outs.
people an out. So NBL Reddit streams, if you want to stream the games live
sweet.
and free, and you can go into that, and that'll help you out. So as we wrap up this podcast, remember to like, share, subscribe. You can also follow us on our main podcast that we've done for quite a while now, better part of about 6 months, and that's Aussies Taking over the NBA. That's all your Australians playing in the NBA. We wrap the games up each week, as well as going back, looking at season previews for all the players and the teams they're involved in. So if you like us on this and you've made it this far, check that out.
Yep.
That's some pretty cool content as well.
But apart from that, we're looking forward to that game on Sunday. Just the one game this week. Nice long turnaround.
Yeah, nice long turnaround. Some rest for the guys.
Relaxing. Hopefully it's another good performance.
And we shall wrap it up probably on Monday the 29th.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. Take
Peace
it easy,
out.
peeps.
See y'all.